Hello guys, welcome back to the first video podcast series by myself, PGA professional Daniel Hartley. Thank you for tuning in to the second episode. Now, as previously mentioned, what we are going to look at and cover is the stance and the posture of the golf swing, as these are two key fundamentals to improving anyone's golf.
Okay, so stance and posture. Now, the main reason why these are two key fundamental setup areas is because it basically means how well you are stood over the golf ball. If you have bad stance and bad posture, it's very difficult to complete the golf swing consistently. Now, if we refer back to the last episode, what we are looking to do is build a golf swing that we can repeat time and time again. Now, how we stand and how we address the ball and how we get our weight into position is all key in providing that successful, consistent golf swing. Now, I'll show you from the front first of all. Now, what we are looking to do is start with our feet shoulder width apart. Now, what this allows us to do is have good balance so we can move laterally and we can use our body weight. But what it also allows us to do is next episode, we're going to work on ball position, so you'll really see why a shoulder width stance is important. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to spin to the side. Okay, so when it comes to the golf setup, it's not really like any other sport. It feels uncomfortable, it feels strange. If it's something you've not done before, you'll almost, without seeing yourself, you'll almost think, is this correct? So I'm going to break it down and keep it nice and simple. Now, try and do a little bit of mirror work. So stand in front of the mirror, have a good look, try and set yourself up before looking so you can see if you are correct. So as mentioned, we're going to work from the ground up. Now, what we want to always do and always achieve is make sure our hands are falling straight down. Now from here, if we hang our arms straight down, we always want to keep our arms and our hands below our chin, let's say. I see a lot of golfers reaching out for the ball, and a lot of golfers very, very tight. So we'll come back to this in a second. Now, what we almost want to do is try and keep our back and our height nice and tall and nice and straight. Now, as from this position here, we want a little bit of knee flex, and then we want to tilt forward from our hips. Now, as mentioned before, we want to keep our arms nice and straight, so we let our hands fall here. Now, the best thing about this setup and this posture is you've got a straight spine, so when we work on rotation on episode 4 or 5, you can see that we turn around our spine. But from a good setup posture here, I've got my weight on the balls of my feet, not the heels. We've got the weight on the balls of our feet, and this allows me to use my weight going through the ball. So if we were to stand nice and tall again, just without the golf club, it's all about how much we are tilting with our spine. So if I let my hands drop, fall naturally, have a slight bit of knee flex, and keep my back nice and straight. Now, we've got to be careful because bad posture can cause injuries. So what we don't want is we don't want an S posture, so it's sort of really curling around, so we've got too much curvature in the spine, or we do the opposite, which is a C posture, so we're almost hunched over. So we've got to make sure that we're nice and straight and nice and strong as we are in this setup here. Now, a lot of golfers really struggle because they always adapt to the club and almost get the club in the wrong position first of all, and the body adapts to how they stand. Now, I've got a great drill for you, one that you can use with every club, because as mentioned, we want to be on our balls of our feet, slight little bit of knee flex, and a couple of reference points that are here. My hips are on line with my heels, okay? I'm keeping my back nice and straight, and I'm falling forward. And I'm almost feeling like I'm going to fall in front of myself here, okay? So my hands are falling down nice and straight, and they're right underneath my chin. They're not out here, and they're not in here. So let's grab a driver, let's grab a 7-iron, let's grab a 3-iron, let's grab a couple of clubs and grab a wedge, just so you can see the difference. Now, let's give it a go. Firstly, what I'll show you is I'll show you the pitching wedge. Now, the best thing about the drill that I'm going to give you is it needs practicing. You need to do it in front of a mirror. You need to do it at the driving range, because it's all about feel. It's all about how you are feeling over the ball. And if you've got good posture, what we've worked on previously with your grip and your hands and your rotation of your hands really comes together. Now, and what we're going to work on later on in the series with your rotation and your arm swing and your alignment all comes from this good posture and stance. So, start from the bottom, nice shoulder width apart feet, okay? Grip the club as I have been touching last lesson in the fingers with your right hand on top, okay? Now, from here, as mentioned, we're keeping the hands under my chin and I'm just falling forward. Now, you can probably see there's quite a bit of tilt here. Now, I'm not collapsing into it. I'm not straightening my back too much. I'm simply nice and smooth, just falling forward. Now, my hands are below my chin, and this allows me then to correctly work with my hands. Now, the biggest thing about this posture is I've got room to swing. We don't want to be too close. We don't want to be too far away. So it's always good that if the ball's there and you do this drill and you're too close or too far away, just shuffle to the ball or shuffle back. Let me show you what I mean. What I'm going to do is I'm purposely going to put this ball a bit too far away, okay? So if I set myself up, good stance, good little bit of knee flex, and I stand nice and tall, and I tilt forward from the hips, as you can see, my posture's really good, setup's good, good bit of knee flex, everything's in line. I'm just too far away from the ball, so we've just got to come a little closer. Now, we'll do the same with the 7-iron, the 3-iron, and the driver. I've got the 7-iron in my hand, same again. What I will do is I'll stand nice and tall, okay, and make sure that when I fall towards that ball, okay, I am falling this way, okay. Now, as you can see, I'm a little bit too far away, so I've got to come a little bit closer, and there's the 7-iron setup, okay. As you can see, there's not as much tilt as the pitching wedge, and as you go, the longer the club, the less tilt there is. But it's very key that we are basically tilting from the hips and not collapsing from the back. Now I've got my 3-iron, okay, let's see how this differs. Now, as I set myself up, I'm falling forward, and as you can see, there is not as much tilt. I'm still tilting, I'm still leaning forward, my weight is still on the balls of my feet here, I am not sat back. The best thing about this posture when you tilt from the waist with a slight bit of knee flex is it makes you fall onto the balls of your feet. Okay, now with the driver. With the driver, now again, nothing changes, the drill is exactly the same. We want to make sure we're a good distance away and we stand nice and tall and we're falling forward with a little bit of knee flex, and as you can see, my posture is not as much tilted. As mentioned with my 3-iron and my 7-iron, my weight is still on the balls of the feet, it's not sat back, so good stance and good posture. Okay, I hope that's clarified the stance and posture for you. Any questions, any comments, please just like, share. Don't forget to subscribe and send me an email or just type below any queries and I'll happily get back to you. Now, what we're going to look at next lesson is we're really going to work on ball position, because what's key about ball position is if we've got the good rotation with the hands in lesson 1, we've got a good stance and posture in lesson 2. If we have the correct ball position, we're going to start hitting our target as we build through the swing. So thank you for tuning in. Catch you next week.